How about Ten Hag?
It beats me. They've lost nearly half the amount of games they've played this season. Now he's got to come up with solutions. They haven't come up with anything yet.
Moving to some other managers, I'd be curious to know if you think they will last the end of the season. Start with Pochettino.
Yes,
You think he will?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a project there. I don't think you bring in 20-odd players and then just think they're just all going to gel together. I think if Chelsea end up winning a cup and finishing sixth in the league, I think it'll be a half-decent season. I think it'll be a decent season for Arsenal for Chelsea when it might end up that Arsenal finish, who knows, fourth in the league and not win a trophy.
Yeah.
So, but the game's changed. That would be more successful than Chelsea.
Yeah.
Which it's mind-blowing, really, isn't it? That I tell you that Chelsea finished sixth, get into Europe, but win a trophy, but Arsenal get in the top four, so they're more successful than Chelsea are. And that's sometimes where the game's gone now. It's not about medals, it's about money.
I look at the Chelsea project of what's happened, and it sort of seems to me that they're either going to be bankrupt or the best team in the world in 3 years' time. Do you think it's that dramatic?
I think both times. I think you're a million miles off on both.
Right. Okay.
I think a million miles off on both. Okay. I don't think they'll be the best team in 3 years, and I don't think they'll go bankrupt. I think they're clever enough to know these people.
Okay.
I don't think you get billionaires at these clubs like this and come in and get it that wrong.
Right, okay.
In finances.
Yeah.
In player-wise, they can, because they don't really know a lot about football. They bought a lot of players to dominate football in 4 or 5 years' time when we all know football's a funny game. You have your moments. You could be the best in the Premier League 1 year, and the next year you're gone. So I don't see how you can keep on bringing young players in and go, right, put them on 7-year contracts and be the best player. I don't understand that. So I think Chelsea will get better and steadily, but I still think they're players short, believe it or not, when they've already got 30 players, I think.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, so that's Chelsea, that's Pochettino. How about Ten Hag?
Oh, do well to keep his job before this podcast goes out, wouldn't he? It beats me. They've lost nearly half the amount of games they've played this season. I think if Luton done that, I think Rob Edwards, who's done an amazing job, and they're not expected to win any game, you'd be under pressure. So I'm not sure. The only problem is what managers are about.
Okay, yeah.
It's all right saying, right, get rid of Ten Hag. Who are you bringing in? You bring in Ancelotti for a year, steady the ship. I think he's fortunate. I do think he's fortunate because I look at his time there and I don't see too many players that he's made them much better footballers. Like, I don't look at them and go, wow, he's an amazing player now, or he's an amazing player. I'd look at Arsenal and I think Arteta's improved footballers, improved the players. I don't see that with Man United, and that's my big worry with Man United. Or they might have one good season and then they go missing the next season. And that's where I would judge him. He is the manager of the biggest club in the world, in my opinion.
Eddie Howe?
Should keep his job.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, these people will put money in. I heard the owners, when they lost in the final of the League Cup last year, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the Champions League, we're going to do this. He has been unlucky with his team, with injuries. But they have had players back, and it ain't been as bad recently. I watched them at Chelsea in the Cup, and I know Chelsea scored last kick of the game and went on and won on penalties, but it wasn't good. And then yesterday you looked, and I know they were 2-1 up. How many players were missing yesterday? You could say Wilson was missing, but Isaac and Wilson don't play at the same time.
Yeah.
I think they missed Joe Linton. I think they're a bit weak in midfield when Joe Linton don't play. But bar that, you look and you're like, and Man City literally destroyed them, didn't they? I mean, getting up to 700 passes.
Total possession.
I hope he stays. I've seen him work. I've been to Bournemouth when he worked. He's a good manager, so I hope he does. But they want to start moving quickly. I think he done it too well. I think they got into the top four too quickly. I didn't see him getting in the top 4 this season, if I'm being honest.
Okay, almost a victim of his own success.
It does, and you know what it's like. You've got to get in again, and now all of a sudden it's 3 or 4 steps back.
Yeah, okay. My dad's a Man United fan, and I think he gets frustrated with Marcus Rashford more than any other player. And what do you think of him? He seems to go on these runs of just being a world beater and then just completely falls apart in other times.
Yeah. You know what? I think I don't know the lad, but he seems a confidence player. You know, there's one thing in football. You know what I learned all through my career. If there's one thing you could bottle up as a footballer, it's confidence. It's a massive thing. And I know people might, fans might sit there and go, wow, confident you're getting 200 grand a week. Why shouldn't you be confident, go out and play? Some people struggle with it. Some people go through bursts. He gets 6 in 6 and then he can go 7 or 8 games without scoring. Again, he gets doubled up. Now he's got to come up with solutions. It's simple when you get the ball on the left and you've only got the right back to beat and you can get it in, cut inside, bend it in the corner, or, he shows you down the line, you cross it. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting 2 players up against him. If he cuts inside, the defender's waiting for him, the centre half. Now he's got to be bright and clever enough to make that solution. That's where I look at the Ten Hag situation. I think, well, they haven't come up with anything yet. They haven't come up with anything. Not like Højlund comes across and might play a 1-2, and just to get them thinking again, the defenders. So, but he'll always play. He's got a reputation. He'll always play. He's a threat. He's a threat. Do I play him in front of Grealish or Foden? Not sure. Okay. Especially in games where England have earned the right now for teams to sit 10 behind the ball. Yeah. So we need them little 1-2s and not that power and pace. It'll be interesting, but Gareth likes him. He's always going to be in the squad. After this podcast, he could get 10 in 10.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't be shocked, and nor would you be shocked.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that was just a small segment from a conversation with Paul Merson. If you want to watch the full interview, you can do so right here.